Good morning. I'm MJ from Linus Publications, and today we're going to be looking at Trump's Daily for October 7th, which is Tuesday. That's tomorrow. Now, as a quick note, I'm not seeing anything where the shutdown will be resolved tomorrow. As I noted the last few days, we're looking at more something possibly towards the end of the week, but I'm not saying definite. We'll take these things at a day and see what's going on and see whether something is imminent. What I am seeing is more focus on things like the Portland issue and also the Chicago issue. So that seems to be a consideration here. So let's take a look at what he has in his chart. First, we see Venus is trying his fate. And this is actually sort of a nice, type of angle. It means that, he's going to be receiving some support. And he may actually have a path that opens up sort of away from some of the conflict. And that will be conflict specifically with things could be either with the government shutdown or with the situations in Portland and Chicago. But it doesn't indicate that it is a final piece. So it just indicates that maybe a path opens up. Maybe there's some type of compromise that's made in Portland or in Chicago, or maybe not. But it seems like there's something that can open up. Venus sort of likes to try and sort of smooth things over. So we'll see. Now, the next one we have is Venus is going to be conjuncting the second house. Now, this usually manifests as getting things like gifts. You like things around you, nice things. And this has always been something that, is very evident in Trump. He always likes nice, luxury, expensive things around him. And some of that has to do with feelings of inadequacy. So sometimes this indicates that it's his emotional security. He relates it to actually what he is worth. And that's why he likes these gifts. So it's not so much what it is, what it provides to him. It's more what it builds up his foundation as to his self-worth. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a time when countries start giving him gifts, or maybe, he wants gifts in other forms. We'll see. Now, this is going to be in this area, plus or minus 30 or so days. And he is going to be very concerned about his own personal wealth, too. So we're going to see that he's going to be making sure that his personal wallet is getting fluffed up a bit. It may also have to do with some of the decisions being made with the White House ballroom, although I haven't heard much information on that. It could be he's going to be determining the furnishings or things like that. So let's take a look at our next one, and that is Sun conjuncting the wounded warrior. Now, this is indicating it's a conjunction, which can be good, can be bad, meaning negative or positive results. But in this case, Sun is a spotlight. And what's a spotlight on? On his wounds, on those inner wounds. So in effect, this is something where he might inadvertently be sharing stories of some of how these hurts came about. And it's also an indication that others could be drawn to his pain. Now, they are visible, so I think you're going to be able to recognize some of them. And of course, some of them have to do with all, like the way he did the Oval Office, with all the 24 karat plated items, all the gold. Okay, so some of these, wounds have certain symbols associated with them. Now, our next one is Moon opposing the wounded warrior. So you've got Sun conjuncting it and now Moon opposing it. So this is where it's really coming out. So you have the turbulence, and think of this turbulence as waves crashing on rocks. I mean, these wounds are just really surfacing here. He's going to be reactive. He's going to feel inadequate. He's going to feel like he's being rejected. And the wounds, as noted, are going to be apparent externally. And some of this probably has to do with the polling he's getting. Polling has been horrible. And it's not just on things with the government shutdown. It's also what he's doing in the cities like Portland, Chicago, what he had done in Los Angeles. So all of this is not getting the positive spin that he thought it would. So this is difficult. And this is actually starting very early in the morning. So it's going to be about 12 a.m. So probably either when he's we don't know when he sleeps, but sort of at that late hour. Now around 4 a.m., we have another piece, and that's Moon opposing Jupiter. In this case, it's just making everything exaggerated, excessive. So he's going to be overindulging, he's going to be overpromising and overspending. He's also going to be overacting out, which means that if he's tweeting, his tweets are going to be pretty exaggerated. Okay. Now, our next thing is and that's again at around 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, we have Moon conjuncting the ninth house, and that's going to happen at around noon tomorrow. And what happens is the ninth house is associated with things like philosophy, education, the legal system, sometimes foreign relations. And here we're looking at, he's going to be spending more time on those areas in the next 2.5 days. So likely, doing things with the justice system, because he is involved in quite a few legal cases. And a few of these are, likely to be, to be heard. Maybe one is early I think one is next week on the Voting Rights Act. So the next thing we have also at noon tomorrow is Moon trying Moon. This is great. This is actually, it's just a nice angle for him. Think of it as you're comfortable in your home, in a place you're in your favorite chair, you're eating your favorite food, you're listening to your favorite TV station or radio station. So it just is no distraction, there's no tension. So things are relatively, they're not tense, they're easy. So it's sort of what you like to do. You're around people that likely are fond of you. And it's not like anyone is making any waves. Next thing we have at around 2 o'clock is Moon is squaring Fate. Now, in this case, he's going to feel like he's in moments that might be significant, but that his responses are off. So he's like, is it significant or isn't it? An example would be if he is, let's say, on this Portland, the latest news from the judge. He's making decisions about that, and he feels they should be significant, but they're falling flat. So our next one is Moon squaring Saturn, and this is going to be around 4 o'clock tomorrow. So this is following his square to Fate. In this case, this is indicating that he's feeling constrained. Not that it's impossible to do things, but he's just not able to get there easily. So he's isolated, he feels sensitive, because in this case, he's not being able to get what he wants immediately. So there's rules, there's procedures to follow, laws, the things that we're all supposed to obey. So this is going to be in his way at around 4 o'clock. At 8 p.m., we have Moon squaring Venus. So, now he wants harmony. He wants people to like him. He wants to have good relationships. And not so much like him, but sort of bow down to him, really. And in this case, he's going to have difficulties with his groups, his communities. Venus is, in effect, the social systems. In this case, this would be peer groups, communities maybe that voted for him. And he's going to start seeing that they're not liking what he's doing. Our next one here and our last one is Moon trying Mars, and this is going to be at 10 p.m. So this is actually a pretty good one. So he's going to be able to find some way to act. It's going to be on something. So he's going to do something that lets him sort of move ahead. So it's decisive. He's going to act quickly, and he feels like he was correct in his decisions. He's going to be energized about it. He might be a little bit argumentative, but, saying why he did it and why he had to. But to him, it's going to feel like just a small step forward in something. So in all we talked about here, I'm not seeing anything significant that's saying he is going to sort of step back from Portland or Illinois. In fact, I'm seeing sort of the opposite because we're seeing things moving into the ninth house, so he's going to have a concentration on that. Same thing with the government shutdown. I'm not seeing anything where there is a meeting of the minds. I'm not seeing anything where he's coming back and just sort of saying, well, I am going to just open it up. I'm not seeing anything where we have that broached at this point. It could be later this week. There are some things that are coming up that might be possible, but we'll talk to that, as we get further along. Thank you for listening and have a great day.